Shalom, shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh. Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Wherever you may be, to you I say, Shalom, that's Shalom, Shalom. All right, I'm going to be brief here, because my phone is dead. I had it on charge all night, but apparently it didn't charge. But whatever. So, and this should be long anyways. Just according to the little news articles, there's probably several things we could have talked about, you know, from those news articles. Most of them being, you know, like different disasters, you know, that are happening right now in real time, okay? But there's one particular clip that stood out to me the most that I want to speak about. We have that here on the screen, or what I typed in on the screen referring to, you know, that particular clip dealing with Japan. So it says the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan during World War II on August 6, 1945, which was in Hiroshima, and August 9, 1945. That was on Nagasaki. The total death toll by the end of 1945 was estimated between 150,000 and 246,000 people, but mostly civilians, because that's what Esau does. Going back to his blessing, he was given the fatness of the earth and the dew from heaven above, and that he should live by the sword. And as it says in Revelation 6, and I want to say it's verse 4, he was given a great sword, right? A great sword, that they should take peace from the earth, which is what he has been doing and what he's currently doing, all right? And that they should kill one another, which he has done in times past, all right? Different Edomite countries or nations warring against each other. And that's exactly what's going to happen with Babylon the Great in Russia, okay? We have, especially like the Roman Empire, there was a whole bunch of backstabbing and betraying going on there. And then they also, you know, have shed a lot of blood in the earth. And see, their pride has made them think that they're going to get away with everything, because that's how they talk and that's how they move, okay? Let's see what else is down here. It says the Hiroshima bombing, August 6, 1945. Name of bomb and plane. Little Boy dropped the B-29 bomber, Enola Gay. Key people or commanders, Colonel Paul Tibbets, that I don't care about those people. Casualties, an estimated 90,000 to 166,000 people died by the end of 1945, including roughly 80,000 to 156,000 civilians, soldiers, and prisoners of war. Over 80,000 were killed, were deleted instantly. All right, 80,000 people at the snap of a finger, at the drop of a bomb. Right, gone. Okay. The Nagasaki bombing, August 9, 1945. Name of bomb and plane, Fat Man, dropped by the B-29 Boxcar. All right, casualties, an estimated 60,000 to 80,000 people perished by the end of 1945, mostly civilians, alongside a small number of soldiers and prisoners of war. So did you notice the a similarity here? Mostly civilians, okay? Mostly civilians. And now we always mention Amalek, referring to us, right? Not saying we're Amalek. I mean, what should I say? Remember what Amalek did to the, by the way, you know, when we left out of Egypt, okay? Destroying the feeble, all right, in the rear, okay? And always liken that to what they're doing today with the Palestinians, all right? It's genocide, it's slaughter, because they, you know, they don't mind killing, they don't mind deleting women, children, babies. They don't mind bombing schools, hospitals, or whatever the case may be, okay? They do, well, that's their spirit, though. Do as thy will, okay? That is the spirit that they come in, and that is the spirit, right, that they operate in, all right? And they have a bloodlust. As it says in Ezekiel 6, thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee, okay? So there's going to come a time where Esau is going to have to pay back for his sin. And I'm not saying all the other nations are innocent either, because it says that, I believe it's in Zechariah, right? You heathen that are at ease, and you have 4-hour afflictions, but that top dog. All right, it's Esau, Edom. And the scriptures say, the pride of thy heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, which is his mind, who shall bring me down? All right, and the Lord Yahweh is going to send out Lord Yahweh Shai, all right, to bring these devils down, all right, because we don't have no power, all right, we can't do anything, and we're not commanded to do anyways. It says, wait ye upon me to the day that I rise up to the prey, okay? That's going to be Esau and all the other nations that be taken down by our Lord, all right, and through the power of his might, okay? So, with that being read, I want to get back on point. I don't think we need anything else from here. I'll leave it there. Maybe want to ask another question. More than likely not. So I'm gonna see if I'm kind of flowing at random here. I'm gonna see if I can find a couple scriptures here. I want to say this is actually in the 13th chapter of Revelation. And we'll tie this thing together with my point here as we get this. All right, so let me see if I can find. Is that it? Okay. Yeah. Let me see. As a matter of fact, let's go up a little bit. Just a couple more. Let's start at 11, I guess. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And we all know, all right, what you hear. I was watching the video last night. All right, I forget the name of the woman who was on the Jimmy Dore show, but you hear a lot more people, all right, starting to call out, you know, these people for who they are, okay, and starting to call out their wickedness, okay, and putting it on Front Street, all right, and so yeah, and the Lord, this is the time where the Lord is revealing this man, the wicked being revealed, okay, and because remember, when you go back to their forefathers, all right, it says that they will be, well, particularly with one guy, but you know, it says that they will be a fugitive and a vagabond, all right, so a guy who gets caught for a crime, and then he gets a court date and he doesn't show up, what happens? There's issued a warrant for his arrest because he's going to be seen as a no-show, all right? And he's going to be seen as guilty, period. Regardless of what any kind of evidence could have been pulled out, he's going to be seen as guilty, because if he wasn't guilty, maybe he was guilty, but if he wasn't guilty, why would you not show up to court? So you're automatically going to be seen as guilty, and you know, you're going to be slapped as a criminal. And they're going to pursue you. They're going to go look around to the you know, to the spots where they think you mainly will be your father or your mother's house, your closest family members. You know, if they know of any of your friends, they're going to, you know, they're going to do their usual, you know, ropes. All right. And so, yeah, so that's what Esau is. He's a fugitive and a vagabond. All right. Going throughout the earth. All right. Taking and stealing things, places that he should not be. All right, he's done that for centuries. And now it's time for him to go down, and he doesn't want to go out of power. So that's why he's going to go out kicking and screaming like a baby. Okay, he's going to go out fighting because he doesn't want to be taken out of power. Now, as I said, we're going to roll into the point, all right, about the clip. and if I didn't say it, I was trying to get to that too, to close my thought in case I didn't say it. But we all know that America sprung up from the ancient Roman Empire, all right, stemming out from that Renaissance period. Renaissance meaning rebirth, okay? So we know America is, you know, the revival of the ancient Roman Empire, right? That's why you see so many similarities to this place, from this place to Rome, all right? It's just, except there's even more wickedness, and nobody's just running around in togas and stuff, okay? So it says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him. So we're dealing with the ancient Roman Empire, all right, and transitioning to a talking point of America, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. You see, because you had what was known as the Eastern Roman Empire, and then you had the Western Roman Empire, which they called the Holy Roman Empire. But they had their faults, but it was run by, Israelites, okay, which became, as you might hear about in history, as Byzantium or the Byzantine Empire. All right, the Holy Roman Empire, that was Western Rome. Eastern Rome, Eastern pagan Rome fell. All right, and that's when they, were cast out. I think even Job mentions that. All right, they were chased out, or I forget exactly how it's worded. It's been a long time since I read that, but yeah, I think Job speaks about that. All right, so but just I'm trying to make the the brief point here. You had Eastern pagan Rome fall, and then after the Byzantine Empire fell, I want to say it was to the Ottoman Turks. It's been a long time since I dug into that history. But when Byzantine Empire fell, eventually you had, these Edomites getting their chance to spring back up in the earth. In the Renaissance period, okay, and hailing out of, I believe it was Italy, okay, and which that's also in the scriptures. Now I'm thinking about it, Revelation chapter 20, okay. I don't necessarily want to go into. I guess we'll come back. I'm just walking and talking anyways. So let's just get it. Ain't like I'm nowhere. Any kind of destination. So yeah. So Revelation 20:1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. All right. And those that were about to go down were these Edomites. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent. So notice that similarity there. Going back all the way to Genesis, the serpent of old. Okay, because we talk about a sea line of people and their empire. All right, so we'll be doing some work down there. You see. All right, so it says, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and that's the history that we just talked about. Right, when the Eastern pagan Rome fell, you had Byzantine Empire come up, and then afterwards you had them bringing out their Renaissance. Okay, but this is not talking about them bringing it back out. This is just talking about them falling, that Eastern pagan Rome falling. All right, and bound them 1,000 years. So there's no, angels or demons or whatever, bound in Antarctica with chains on or something like that. No, it's talking about people. All right, and their empire. Okay, it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. See, notice thing it says here, deceive the nations. That's all he's ever done. He's deceived the nations no more. But it says what? Till the 1,000 years be fulfilled. That's why we talked about the Renaissance period. Renaissance meaning rebirth. Okay, so once they came back out, then they did the most lying that they've ever done, and continued on that course to this very day. All right, to the point where which it was all of the will of the Lord to punish us, but he even stricken us from our own identity. Okay, and then took our identity. Right, it says till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. And this is where we are right now. We're in that little season, and at the end of this little season, scripture said that the devil's going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he had a short amount of time. All right, now I'm going to get back to Japan in a second. I know, I guess, getting the extra lesson inside of this lesson. I just wanted to talk about these points. So let me jump down here. So verse 7 says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed. So it's not talking about a demon, a devil, a wicked angel, or whatever. All right, no, it's talking about these people, okay? The Edomites. All right, the so-called self-proclaimed white people of the earth. Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go to deceive. There it is right there. You see, it says until the 1,000 years be fulfilled, and then it goes right back to it. He went out to what? To deceive the nations, which are in the four quarters of the earth, so all over the planet. This is why he goes everywhere, spreading his wickedness. All right, even says that in what? Revelation 17, Babylon the Great, mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay, it says Gog and Magog, which talk about Russia. Just one place, one thing, to gather them together to battle, which is that battle is going to be World War III, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And it talks about that in Ezekiel 38 chapter. You and all your company and all your bands, all right, and those that are joined unto you and all their bands, all right? Speaking of their troops, their men of war, whether it be land, air, or sea, all right? And gathering themselves together for World War III, which will take us back to our point. All right. Let me back up. Let me see if it's gonna let me back up here. Okay, here we go. So let me back up for a second. So going back to, our point. All right, talking about the gathering of these different nations for the final battle of World War III. It says, I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. So that's what we just read there, Revelation 20. All right, the downfall of an ancient pagan Roman Empire and the revival of it from the Renaissance period, and now America is a result of it today. All right. It says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a great mouth. there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. Getting down to our point, it says, and he opened his mouth and blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell therein. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and the saints of the children of Israel, the Israelites, so Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. Psalms 148 and 14 tells you who the saints are. So it's not your Pope and Catholic Church. The saints are the children of Israel. Psalms 148 and 14. Okay, but I'm pretty sure they know that's in the Bible. Anyways, it says he was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given, at 10%, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the Lamb, a book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Those that are given over. Okay, says, if any man, actually I'll jump way up higher than I wanted to. It's okay, we just read through it. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Well, yeah, we just might as well read through it now. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. I just thought it was a little bit higher up, but it's okay. We read through it now. So I want to get down to this point here, further below, because I forgot where I started, so it's all good though. So it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spake of the dragon. Yeah, that's what happened. When I went back, I probably jumped up higher than where I was supposed to be. It's all good. Yeah, he had 2 horns like a lamb and he spake of the dragon. All right, and we already talked about ancient Roman Empire and then America being formed and fashioned after the ancient Roman Empire. Okay, it says, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. So all that history we just talked about there when we went to Revelation 20 and so on and so forth. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Okay, and this is why we opened up with the stuff on the Google. All right, about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Because that's exactly what he did. All right, to Japan, right? And Japan is somewhat, I guess, an ally nation. Okay, now in the clip you had Japan, because they never forgot and they're never going to forget. You had Japan, who had this little ceremony or whatever you want to call it, about them remembering what the heck was it called? Well, we'll just say the 2 bombs that they dropped. All right, I forget what the whole name of it was, but remembering the bombs that were dropped, all right, on Japan, and they were saying that it's never going to happen again. Okay, and we know that Revelation 17 chapter speaks about what? America's allies turned it against it. Well, it's mainly speaking about the NATO, but and it says it's going to eat her flesh and burn it with fire. And that's nuclear missiles. So you have Japan, which we know that they have not forgotten about those bombs America dropped. Okay, and they just had a ceremony all right, saying that, pretty much them remembering those bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and saying that what? Never again. And it goes back to the pride of America. So the Lord's going to destroy America in World War III by nuclear missiles. They've been into a war they cannot win. This place is going to be destroyed. And amongst the missiles that are going to destroy this place, it's going to come from some of their allies. All right? And as I said before, there's probably several things we could have talked about in those clippings. That one stood out the most. Okay? So they were saying that we remember and never again. Okay? And so, never again, meaning what? That this time we're going to prepare ourselves, all right, for this scenario should it happen again. But who did it? Well, Babylon the Great did it. Okay? So never again could be to any other. It could be like, saying that, hey, if anybody else tries this, all right, it won't happen the same way. But most definitely, it speaks towards Babylon the Great. All right? And we could read 14. Not necessarily needed. It says, and deceived them that dwell in the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and to live. Because that point was in 13. He do a great wonder so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth and inside of men. All right? And see, the Lord, this is all the doing of the Lord, putting these nations in that particular, well, let's get that. Because we don't have too much more that we can talk about here. The point is made. I know I went through a lot of things, some extra things, but Will Williams all edifying. Let's go to Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, those heathen nations. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. I believe there's a scripture in Isaiah, the 14th chapter, where it says, hast thou become as weak as we? Okay? So, everybody's seeing, where everybody knows of America's exploits, where everybody's currently now seeing, all right, where America stands at these different things, okay? And they're not standing in a great position, okay? But still, people have to pick and choose a side because, that's just the doing of the Lord, all right? Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, and as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, okay? So it's the Lord orchestrating these things, right? He sends the angels out to play on the minds of the kings of these nations, okay? So it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. And where's that gathering going to be? In the valley of Yehoshaphat, all right? In the so-called Middle East, okay? Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or in the Hebrew, Yehoshaphat, all right? That valley decision, all right? Shaphat means to, judge, all right? Same word, plead. Plead is Shaphat, means to judge. He's not going to, be swinging the gavel in the black gown, all right? He's going to send destruction by war. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. So in this World War III battle, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is near in the valley of decision. All right, and there's one more just popping in my mind. We'll end it with that one. Obadiah 1. But there's only one chapter, but Obadiah. All right. Matter of fact, yeah, beautiful, because this ties into my point. All right, Japan. Okay, we remember and never again. Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. Who's Edom? The self-proclaimed so-called white men, women, and child of today. All right, they are actually the Edomites, including the Amalekites. They are Edomites of the house of Amalek. Talk about those people with the propeller hats on their head, all right, in the SOI. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. All right, what an ambassador does, he goes in the stead of a king, all right, to proclaim a message, whether it be peace, war, or whatever, all right. So the ambassador, all right, will be treated, as if it were the king himself. I mean, but that's besides the point. Just making a small point there. It says, arise ye and let us rise up against her. Against who? Edom. See? Where? In battle. World War III. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. They are greatly despised, you see? And that's what's happening all over the earth. People are being exposed for their wickedness, all right? For their, they drink, red coffee, all right? People go missing. Troops and veterans are treated like crap. They threaten their allies, treat their allies nasty, all right? They project themselves in this great boldness as if they can't be touched, okay? They've done all sorts of wickedness that they've gotten away with. And being it says that they speak loftily concerning men. How is it? I know it's in the. I want to say it's Psalms. All right. Men loftily concerning oppression or wickedness or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but yeah, that's what they do. All right. They speak proudly of their wicked acts. All right. And it says that they are greatly despised. So people are seeing, what they do. All right. Children, women, babies. All right, people in general, okay? He that is evil to himself, to whom will he do good? All right, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Who's that? Petra, Esau, all right? Whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, which is mine, who shall bring me down to the ground? See, that's that pride, okay? He thinks that, but what does Scripture say? These two things shall come to thee in one day, and they're going to come upon you in their perfection. All right, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down. Yep, you exalted yourself in the highest places of the earth. All right, you attempted to do all kinds of space missions and this, that, and the third thing, and so many things that you've done, and really these things are not done for no reason. He didn't just go up to space just saying like, I'm gonna do this and I could do this, because he only went to a certain length. But I didn't know if you can get in there. I didn't know that would walk the track. Because I just saw this lady here when she was leaving her house. Man, if I known I could have walked the track. Anyways, it threw me off there. That surprised me. I didn't know you could. Anyways, so it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down. All right, said the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. All right, so there's going to come a time where the scriptures even say that there's bounds that he cannot pass. There's going to come a time where the Lord is going to, overthrow this wicked empire. All right. And part of that overthrow will be using the other nations, including their own allies, all right, against it. Okay. To pummel this place with missiles. It says the time of threshing, all right, come. All right. If thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? Yeah, how your history being uncovered? See, no stone shall be unturned. All right, how's all your wickedness and your wicked deeds that you've done in the shadows for centuries being uncovered? It's through the Spirit of the Lord. All right, how are his hidden things sought up? Here's that final verse here. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. We remember and never again. That's what Japan was talking about. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. See that? And prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not? I just said the last verse, didn't I? Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty, and thy mighty man of Teman shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. All right, and then the Lord tells you why. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And you can keep reading on that. But there you go. All right, just want to end on that point. While we were talking about that particular clip, right, with Japan, saying that they remember, all right, with how America dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they said never again, all right? And then you have America constantly threatening their allies, the NATO nation allies. That's that wedge that we always talk about. Matter of fact, this particular, subject here, it could be titled as that, because I know when we talk about the West, we usually talk about the NATO nations, but Japan is supposedly, you know, on their side somewhat, right? But they've never forgotten the bombs that were dropped. Okay, I think when the business was going on, well, not was, it still is, between North Korea and South Korea, you had America in the shadow of South Korea, and then you had Japan also in the business. All right, and then, you know, I think not too long after that, I think that's when Flat Top, you know, went up there to talk about, you know, things with Russia. Okay, and then, you know, more things started sparking up. You know, a lot of business going on in that area of the world too. But yeah, just to end that point there. All right. So yeah, so this is what's going on. All right, Babylon the Great is hated for its wickedness, for its atrocities, for the things that it's done, and it's never had to pay for it. All right, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, sit on the ground. There is no throne. See, you no longer. See, this is the word of the Lord about to be fulfilled. You're no longer going to be that widow. Sit as a queen. Okay. Yep. You're about to be taken down from your place of loftiness. All right, and the pride of your heart has deceived you to be in that place in the first place. All right. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Lord willing, you were edified. Till next time, Yahshua, I'm gonna say shalom.
Wiesz, Matkę Boską mam chyba, co? Co dla pana to znaczy?
A to jest pani minister
Zakończenia tej drogi. Ja zaczynałem z Matką Boską i kończę z Matką Boską. Dzięki bardzo.
Mamy figurę. Myślimy, że ona będzie pozytywna dla wszystkich ludzi, dla każdego z nas, kto będzie przyjeżdżał, spojrzy, będzie myślał głębiej o życiu swoim nawet, nie? Nie tylko o Bogu, tylko o swoim życiu będzie głębiej myślał. Taką mamy nadzieję.
This is a cleaner window over there. Wait, I'm not in video.
Oh, here he comes. He's coming to the store.
Oh my god.
Oh man, that's crazy.
That's terrifying. I was like, what if he got in? Please stop. Oh, okay.
Oh, it is on lock. Okay.
That is funny how he knows how to.
What if all of a sudden that was open? We'd be like,
Good thing we made sure to lock the doors.
move along there, little buddy.
Do do do.
Try this door now.
He's too smart for that. He's like, I already tried this.
Tonight, the push to crack down on chaos in the street. Fireworks exploding, tires burning, filling the air with smoke as more than 100 cars took over this LA intersection. Flames breaking out in the middle of an unruly crowd as police try to disperse an overwhelming scene. They say this latest street takeover broke out early Saturday morning, turning destructive. Dozens of looters trashing this liquor store, stealing alcohol, smashing glass and security cameras. Furious employees left to clean up the damage beside the skid marks of burning tires when the smoke cleared.
We've worked so hard to establish this business over 11 years, and just for it to be done after just, 10 minutes of people coming in here and taking everything that we have and we've built is just very sad.
Local law enforcement says it's a concerning pattern of lawlessness. Last week, another crowd ransacked this AutoZone, police calling it a mob-like burglary as young people in hoodies and masks cleaned out the store shelves. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department now urging the public to help, releasing wanted posters to help track down some of the at least 27 suspects captured on camera. Out-of-control trend burns through city streets. Ryan Chandler, NBC News.
And that is gunshots at a park in Lexington, Kentucky. The witnesses describing this as pure chaos erupting. 5 people shot at this Kentucky event, 1 fatally. The shooting taking place on Saturday at 6:45 p.m. at Charles Young Park in Lexington, Kentucky. They say that one of the victims was declared dead at the hospital. It remains under investigation. And then you also have in Chicago around 7:15 p.m., 4 people injured as a car pulls up alongside a group that were walking down the sidewalk in Gresham neighborhood. The victims, ranging from between 43 and unknown ages, were all injured, no fatalities, but it looks like the shooters are on the run. And then we have the shooting incident that took place at Virginia State University on Saturday as well. It injured 5, including a student, and they arrested one 19-year-old suspect. But that suspect, they say, was not someone that was attending the college. He was not a VSU student. He was of Henrico, Virginia. They say that the other people that were involved in this whole thing, they do not look to be students either. They say other shooters are potentially on the run. So you have possible shooters out there, bugged because they're being hunted right now, and anything can happen. If they're in a crazy situation, these people, armed and dangerous, they've already shown that they will shoot innocent people or people they don't like. So this is multiple shooting events just over the weekend. I got to say, the Chicago thing, not too surprising, seeming the track record and everything. It pops off up there all the time. But these other ones here, just out in open areas and, public parks and things like that, it shows that, well, I hope you're in a state where you can protect yourself. You can open carry, constitutional carry, things of that nature, because oftentimes it's people that are constitutional carrying or carrying period that are able to stop the bad guys in these situations.
3 things to note tonight. 5 people injured in a shooting outside of Virginia State University, including 1 student. It happened around 1:30 this morning. Officials say multiple suspects started shooting, prompting a campus lockdown. All victims were taken to the hospital. 1 is now in critical condition, while the other suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The university says the student who was shot has since been released. Officials have not identified the suspects, but say there's no immediate threat to the campus community and the lockdown has been lifted. Now to the latest in the deadly Indonesia earthquakes. This is the new look at the damage those quakes have left behind. The National Disaster Management Agency reports at least 47 deaths, 6 injuries, and 2 people missing. More than 300 homes and more than 100 public facilities were damaged or destroyed. Thousands evacuated as tsunami warnings were issued, but those alerts have since expired. The FAA is turning to gamers to help fill a shortage of air traffic controllers. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says more than 2,000 gamers have already been hired, reaching 94% of the agency's hiring goal, with another 2,000 plus in the pipeline. The FAA says gamers bring skills like multitasking, spatial awareness, and quick decision making.
انتقال مخفیانه ترامپ به هواپیمایی دیگر با استفاده از کامیون حمل مواد غذایی نقل محافل خبری دنیا شده. موضوعی که مردم در تجمعات شبانه آن را ناشی از هراس دشمنان از خونخواهی منتقمان آزادی جهان می‌دانند.
今日の我が国の平和と繁栄は戦没者の皆様の尊い命と苦難の歴史の上に築かれたものであることを私たちは決して忘れません。
ここに戦後の長きにわたる平和な歳月に思いをいたしつつ、過去を顧み深い反省の上に立って再び戦争の惨禍が繰り返されぬことを切に願い、先人に散り戦火に倒れた人々に対し、全国民とともに心から哀悼の意を表し、世界の平和と我が国の一層の発展を祈ります。
そういった体験談を聞いてますし、祖父は戦争にも行ってますし、戦争がいいものではないと思います。勝っても負けても戦争しないことが一番いいんですけど、ただ犠牲になられた方は祖国を守るためだけ、その気持ちだけなので、その気持ちには感謝したいと思います。
الحياة أنا بقول لك تزداد سوء لسوء، تعبنا من الحياة الخشونة، إنك تصور أنت وزوجتك وأولادك وابنك وزوجته وأولاده 10-15 نفر في خيمة واحدة. حتى التكيات يمكن في بداية الحرب كان شوية أحسن، اليوم انعدام لا توجد تكيات، حتى مساعدات نادر انك تشوف مساعدات.
ما تحسنش هذه، يعني احنا بنقول يعني انه مثلا حماس بدها تسلم سلاح، حماس بدها تسلم، الفصائل بدها تسلم، على سبه انه نروح الى بيوتنا. يعني احنا زقنا معاناه، يعني هينا بعبى انا في القلن، شايل القلن هيو، مش عندي مثلا خزان 250 لتر ولا نحفظ الماء فيها. زي ما انت شايف هذا القلن هيك، ايش القلن هذا على 7 انفار مثلا بدي اعمل، وانت شايف الشحن يعني بيجي مره واحده بس اليوم.
احنا هيك بنلبس حالنا مشرتحات هيك بنبقى هيك، احنا في دورنا في بيوتنا هيك بنصير، احنا بنلاقيش نفتة نار، بنروح على المكبات يدوروا الاولاد على الدود وعلى المكبات عشان نولع نار. احنا هيك احنا يا الفلسطينيين، مش والله ما كنا هيك، والله ما كنا.
It took only days for this massive horde that moved into Ceuta to destroy the area and have locals saying they've never seen anything like it, completely overwhelmed. And what this has done is it's caused an open air dump, so to speak, on the beach and in the surrounding areas. They say that these are disease-ridden camps occupied by thousands of illegal immigrants who refuse to leave. The mainstream tried to take the information and say that almost all of these people turned around and went back to Morocco, but that's not the case. They came in, and a bunch of them, more than what they said, stayed and destroyed the place. They say that this place has feces, urine, garbage, and shacks all along the beach. Contagious illness spreading. Massive brawls breaking loose with bladed weapons being used amongst the people. And they have really just trashed the place. When you look at some of the video here, the clips just showing it looks like a wasteland now. All out in the water. And now we have a second wave trying to attempt to make it into this area as well. And we have migrant police from both sides trying to counter this massive wave of people, but it seems someone is getting these people to make these moves, using them as a weapon, so to speak, to flood them into areas they're not going to be able to assimilate. Here's another shot. You can just see all along the side of the roads. They're absolutely everywhere. So that's what is in there And then you have the new horde showing up on the surrounding mountain peaks, every single place they can be, to try to make their way in. Some using the waterways. And you can see the riot police there that have been called in, trying to stop this influx of migrants. But there's massive waves. You can see them right there mounting up, and they now know that there's a wall of police there, and they're doing everything that they can to try to get around it. So those that have already made it through, in a short time, have destroyed Ceuta. And they're looking to finish it off, it looks like here, if they can get all these people in. Strategic, for sure, but this is just showing that the people are being used as a weapon again. And it's not stopping.
On est aux alentours et au-delà même des 2000 hectares à présent de fagnes et de forêts qui ont brûlé. C'est vraiment le pire incendie. On en avait eu un en 2011, mais c'était un feu courant, donc il n'était pas rentré dans le sol. Ici, on est sur quelque chose de beaucoup plus profond parce qu'on a un sol qui est très sec.
Donc le feu n'est toujours pas fixé, comme disent les pompiers. À 2 endroits, le feu progresse encore, et surtout sur le flanc est, on a une ligne de minimum 1 km où le feu avance lentement vers une forêt communale. Et ça va vraiment être le défi d'essayer d'éteindre le maximum cette ligne-là, parce que pour le moment, le vent est en notre faveur. Mais apparemment, début d'après-midi, le vent va tourner, et si le vent tourne vers le nord-ouest, à ce moment-là, ça devient extrêmement compliqué. Donc pour le moment, on n'est absolument pas encore rassuré, parce que ce front-là doit absolument encore être stoppé.
extensive fire, which unfortunately took out 19 houses and damaged quite a lot of others. Luckily, no one was seriously injured or worse. But it was a very traumatic day because none of us have experienced anything like it before, really.
At the height of the incident, we had 23 of our fire appliances here, many officers and supporting appliances. Unfortunately, we've had in the region of 18 properties seriously damaged that people won't be able to return to, and others that have suffered less significant damage, but still obviously distressing for the residents.
But you know how dry it's been here, and the suspicion is that it could have been an accidental cigarette or maybe somebody wanting to be malicious, which would be very foolish, but we don't know. Everybody's been very lucky in that respect. An awful lot of people have been relocated temporarily. I've even had somebody coming to stay in the house opposite me because they couldn't go back to their home, and other people who couldn't get in to get their medication and stuff like that. So that's caused a lot of worry.
So we have lost property, which is very distressing for people. We don't underestimate that, but we haven't suffered any human life loss, which is really good news.
Actually now, having seen how it was managed, all I fear about is the fact that we're still very dry everywhere. This could have happened just over the next town or anywhere. It's just a very, very difficult situation, one that Britain's not used to.
What we have got is our fire investigation team working alongside Major Crime from West Midlands Police due to the severity of the damage, and they'll be looking to establish the cause as soon as they can. We call it hotspots, looking for hotspots or flare-ups. So we've got crews still here on a proactive basis going around the affected area and making sure that any flare-ups get knocked down. Of course, our sympathies remain with the people that have been affected by this devastating incident. That's the main thought that we've had throughout this period.
Sa gedung pembina.
Tonight, Lala's damage coming into focus after lashing Hawaii's Big Island overnight. The eye of the storm passing 30 miles off the island's southern coast, dumping feet of rain and hitting coastal areas with dangerously high surf. Teams rescued a woman from a tree after a flash flood swept her home away. Video shows floodwaters surging in front of this house. Hawaii National Guard saving 2 paramedics trapped inside their own truck.
Taking down the sign.
Before it, too, was washed away.
The trash can's moving.
All that water wreaking havoc island-wide.
Dude.
From a drenching that felt non-stop.
There's rushing water, there's debris, and there's boulders on the road, and it's dark.
Oh my God.
The storm so strong, the current washed out this road, taking down trees with it. In Hilo, water churning under this bridge, and drone video capturing roads completely submerged. The highest rainfall total from this storm, more than 42 inches along the Big Island's northeast coast. Winds there reaching more than 70 miles an hour, ripping roofs off buildings. Lala downgraded to a tropical storm overnight, as hundreds of thousands go without power today. Just south of Hilo in Mountain View, Wendell Kazi and his family working to clear roads of downed trees.
What were you telling the grandkids as this one moved in?
Yeah, they kept asking, is this the storm? Is this the storm? Yes, but trying to keep it so that it's not so scary.
After losing their home to Hurricane Iniki in 1992, tonight, the family grateful to have survived a rare second Hawaiian hurricane.
Morgan is joining us now from the Big Island. And Morgan, we're just learning the airports there are reopening.
Yeah, Hallie, that's right. The Department of Transportation saying that both major airports on the Big Island are back open, but they're encouraging travelers to still check with their airlines before heading out. In the meantime, we are also hearing from state officials who say that there are limited reports of any injuries and no reports of anyone missing.
Copy, 57.